What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Yee Yee Podcast, episode 43, fresh off the winter launch. We have Tyler, Matt, and Brian on this
What's
podcast.
up, guys? My first time on the podcast.
Yeah, right before we were about to record, Tyler said, Brian, have you ever been on the Yee Yee Podcast? And we think that Brian's probably been on like 15 times. I actually think that Tyler and Brian have been on together before.
I think we have.
Like multiple times. And Tyler just forgot.
Yeah, we're so busy around here, you never
One of those
you
days.
lose track.
Well, it's funny, too, because it kind of brings up that point of at the end of the year, you know, everybody was posting their Spotify Wrapped, which is like Spotify tells you your top 5 songs, your top 5 artists, whatever. And whenever I posted mine this year, I got so many people saying, wow, no Granger. It's like, I'm around the guy 24/7. Like, you think I want to listen to his music 24/7 as well? Do you feel that way ever?
Yeah, I mean, people don't realize that. You're not just jamming to Granger in the car. It'd be kind of weird if you did. I don't know.
I used
It
to
would.
back before I worked here.
Right,
Granger
but
was
now
always
you're
on my
just-
top.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
in it every day.
And I just listen to Yee Radio when he comes up like every 6 songs. So I
Yeah,
just
we've
listen
been
to it.
bumping E Radio in the warehouse.
Yeah.
Have y'all?
We have, yeah. We listened to it this morning.
No, what do you like more, Yee Radio or Big Booty Mix?
Well, there's a fine line. Like, you start the morning off easy with E Radio, so ease into the day, and then after lunchtime when you have that little afternoon slump, kick it into the Big Booty Mix on Spotify.
Mhm.
Someone explain what Big Booty
Yeah, why don't
Mix
you
is.
explain what Big Booty Mix
So-
is?
I might butcher this, but Big Booty Mix is basically just a huge mashup of just hour long of just mashup of just songs. And they all cycle back to the beginning song some way through the song. You always hear that very first one that came
Oh,
on.
they do?
Yeah. If you listen, like not all of them, but there's a couple of them
Interesting.
that
Yeah.
It's
kind
good,
of make
like,
full circle
Brings
around.
it back together.
Yeah.
Like workout playlist or
It
like
is. It's
whatever
also,
you need.
I listen
high
to it all
energy.
the time in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
You never have to hit skip.
Mhm.
No, yeah,
Just
that
keeps
is
you
nice.
pumped.
Yeah, go look up Big Booty Mix. There's been like
It's
20
only
of
on
them.
SoundCloud
Yeah.
too, by the way.
Okay. Because
I think.
it's two
SoundCloud, yeah.
friends.
I said Spotify,
It's an
SoundCloud.
electronic artist group that started it, and now it's gotten huge. Ben actually brought it. I'd heard of it before Ben got hired, but as soon as he got hired, he just started playing it all the time, and now it's like his go-to in the gym. That's all he plays,
Yeah.
which is kind of nice to not have to be DJ in
Yeah.
the middle of your workout.
And I had a friend shoot a music video with those guys the other day, and they said they were super cool.
Really?
So
That's pretty
that's
cool.
good to hear
Just the
too.
big booty guys.
Just the big booty guys.
Do they
Yeah,
have big booties?
I think so.
Really?
They're skinny. I think they're skinny. aren't they?
Just skinny white guys.
Dudes are like 80 pounds sopping wet. Okay, so we're Granger shooting the movie right now.
Yes.
You guys Brian and Tyler have both been on set last week. You're going tomorrow, the day that this will be launched, you'll be there for the next few days. What's it like? It's got to be so crazy because we've done so many different things, and Granger's done so many different things in his career. But being on a movie set has to be something, Tyler, for you, super surreal because you've dreamed all of this stuff and you've always like manifested it, but now a lot of it's actually happening.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever really manifested being with Granger in a official like feature film. I told Braden today about we might go do some red carpet stuff in LA, and I said you need to come if we do. Braden's our agent for everybody listening, but
For music, for booking shows.
yeah, and he's our RA, which means he
Mhm.
everything filters through him on the film side, music, everything anyway, TV, all that
Gotcha.
stuff. But yeah, we have an agent for film as well. But yeah, anyway, he was like, man, never in a million years did I think I'd be going to a red carpet event
That's awesome.
Yeah.
for a movie
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
That is
of
super
a
cool.
client that I represent.
Yeah, it was a cool experience so far. I'd never been on like a movie set that big, or really any movie set actually, just like small commercial and music video sets, and it's just so much of that is scheduling and just getting the actors where they need to be and like certain times and figuring out which scenes you can shoot which days and stuff. And so like I don't envy that whatsoever because it looked like they had a scheduling nightmare the entire
The
time we were there.
logistics behind that are just
Mhm.
insane. What I was thinking about too for that movie shoot, and we haven't talked about where it's being shot, right? We're not
No.
disclosing that. Okay. I mean, you can see from the Smiths though. It's out. It's not crazy out in the middle of nowhere, but you're a ways away from anything. It's very different than if you're shooting like at Paramount Studios in Hollywood, where these places are set up for this. Like there's everything there. There's catering there. There's all kinds of different trailers already on site for the actors to stay in whenever they're not in a scene or whatever. And it's got to be so crazy to build that out on what looks to be like it's a ranch, you know? That's crazy.
It's also got to be so stressful too, because the money, like millions of dollars that Sony or whatever is putting up for this movie. And so that's all like broken down into each filming day, you know? So you're essentially, if you're wasting time or not getting the shots you need, you're wasting $100,000 a day or whatever it is. So there's got to be a lot of stress involved with that.
Whenever I was at a job before here, we did events, usually concerts, and we had a lot of corporate clients, and you'd be mind blown at the amount of corporate clients that book crazy huge artists for their like Christmas party or their event, their conference for their execs all over the country and fly them in. But there was a very large oil and gas tycoon out of Texas that has a ranch in Texas that he booked the Eagles, like the actual Eagles.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And this was before Glenn Fry had died. It was right towards the end, and we literally had to build out everything at this event. Like, it's not a venue where everything's set up. Green rooms are there. Like, there was no water. Like, we literally had to like dig a trench. We had to get someone in there before because it was so far away from the house and everything. They had to literally put in a water line there. Like, and it's just some of these events, and I know movie, it's a little bit different. These people are used to it, but people don't realize whenever you take an event that is usually at a venue, like a concert, and then move it out on the middle of a ranch or wherever it is, just the build out that has to happen. You go from your load in being like half a day to it's like 2 weeks, you know, and there's different vendors coming in, and then this vendor can't get there before this vendor gets there, and then all these different logistics. And I've never envied anyone that works in logistics like that, especially on a movie set.
People just like especially with concert venues, that you can just like, why don't we just have this out in a field somewhere, and like they can just do the show there. I got a perfect field, you know, whatever. They don't understand the logistics behind it and like what is really needed for shows.
Whenever Granger did the Luke Bryan farm tour, wasn't he on that tour?
Yeah.
Was it you telling me that usually Luke's team has like X amount of buses, but then for that tour they had like 4 times as many?
I don't remember.
It may have been Granger. I think that there were like, he usually like on a stadium tour usually has like 6 or 7 buses and semis or whatever, and then it jumped up to like 35 or something. Was that you?
I don't remember.
Because like a venue, they have their own staff already there. Like you pull into a town and there's bartenders and like bar staff or what, like security or parking lot attendants. But for this tour, they were doing the same thing, but in fields all over the country, that you can't really you can't even teach a new team of 80 people in one morning. Like, all right, here's how this goes, here's how that goes. Like, so they actually took their own crews with them for parking lot attendants, servers, caterers, like everything, which was crazy. That makes it that much more impressive to run a farm tour or something like that.
Gosh, this could be crazy.
Oh man, our Buffalo Bills fans listening at home, I'm so sorry. Y'all had a loss for the ages yesterday. Did y'all watch the games this weekend?
Both of those games. Actually, all 4 games were just nail biters towards the end.
Best weekend of football I've ever seen. I think we were talking about that this morning.
Yeah.
We have a lot of listeners in Western New York that are Bills fans, and I feel very, very bad for them. We also have a lot of Chiefs fans, I'm sure, because we have a lot of fans in Missouri and Kansas, but I think is the best weekend of football I think I've probably ever seen.
I saw something. Was it 3 of the games came down to a field goal at the end?
And they were all the visiting team underdog kicked the field goal to win.
Gosh, I can't imagine.
And then the last game of the night goes to overtime. I think that Chiefs-Bills game was possibly one of the, if not the best NFL game I've ever seen.
It's very entertaining.
It was. Too bad that the overtime rules for the NFL, they couldn't get the ball back.
Trash.
Josh Allen has 2 of the best playoff games of all time in all of history. The
He had
Bills
9
quarterback.
touchdown passes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the record is 11 for the entire playoffs.
Insane.
And he only had 2 games.
Yeah,
And what's crazy is they gave Patrick Mahomes the ball with 13 seconds left, and I said, sure, like it's a joke to say Patrick Mahomes, that 13 seconds is too much time. That almost sounds like a joke, but for Patrick Mahomes, that really is too much time. And the Bills played awful defense at the end.
Yeah, you're right. But, I mean, like you're saying about the Cowboys, I mean, that's great play calling and just great preparation and
for
the coaches and the whole everybody. But obviously Mahomes is superhuman. But
yeah, it's a coaching staff that knows what they're doing. Tyler walked in this morning, we were talking about it, and he goes, dude, if the Cowboys somehow made it to the Super Bowl and had to play either of those teams, it would have been – we would have gotten killed. And it's true. We're
So true.
As a Cowboys fan, like I can look at that game and say – those two teams are in a different atmosphere than the Cowboys were, and play calling the team. But Buffalo Bills fans have a lot to look forward to. I think that team is – I think that they're better than the Chiefs. I do. I think that they got them last night, but I do think that that's a better all-around team. I would love to have Josh Allen as the Cowboys quarterback. One can only dream.
What college did he go to?
Wyoming.
Yeah, Wyoming, yeah.
Yeah, he went to Wyoming.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did some college miss that? All the colleges miss
Yeah,
that.
and he was one of those guys, too, that whenever he was trying to get drafted, a lot of NFL teams were looking at his competition. They're like, oh, well, he didn't play in the SEC. He didn't play in a Power 5 conference. He didn't have the same teams week
And they're
in,
not
week out.
wrong.
No.
It's like for every – like there's one Josh Allen for every 100 other Carson Wentz's or whatever.
Yep.
Not, you know.
All right, we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Carhartt.
Is anyone wearing Carhartt?
No Carhartt.
Nope.
Thank God.
Brand loyal.
I want to know y'all's thoughts on this because we've seen it. So Carhartt, does anyone know the actual details? Carhartt came out and said that they're requiring all of their employees to get vaccinated.
So all I know is that there was like a government mandate, I think, that companies over 100 employees,
Which was a Supreme Court ruling.
yes, had to be vaccinated. But then the Supreme Court
No, the Supreme Court, I think.
overruled it,
Yeah,
I thought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of companies were like, all right, we're not going to enforce it. And then Carhartt came out and said, we are still going to enforce it.
Because they are a private company. They
Yes.
they can do that, technically. But it was almost like the meme where it's like, no one, absolutely no one. Carhartt, hey, all of our employees have to get vaccinated. It's like, why did you even do that? Like, no one was asking.
Kind of
that.
shows like their true colors. It's like they're a company making products for, you know, hardworking country people. And it's like, oh, wait, but this is what you're doing and this is what you believe. So maybe it wasn't about us and the customer. Maybe it was about money or something else, you know?
I think that so many of these companies get so big that they forgot what got them there. And we were talking about this. Carhartt, we make memes about it all the time. And if you follow Yee on Instagram, you'll see them. But it's like the last few years, Carhartt has gotten bigger in the space of like the hipsters. And like there's that meme that everybody wants to wear Carhartt until it's time to do Carhartt stuff, which is so true. Like you'll just be walking down the street and you know and I'm not judging, but there's just some dude that's never done any manual labor in his entire life wearing like a Carhartt beanie and a Carhartt jacket. Whatever. It is what it is. But I think that Carhartt has gotten so big in that space the last few years that they kind of forgot what got them there, which is the hardworking American that buys that jacket. And Carhartt stuff is very well made. Like I don't think anybody's going to argue that buys that jacket and has it for 10 years and it holds up. But man,
yeah, there's nothing wrong with expanding your company and appealing to the masses and creating more jobs and more revenue and all that. But, you know, you got to stick to your roots and remember where you came from, you know?
They kind of alienated a lot of their customer base with that stance.
And didn't take care of their employees that made the choice not to get it,
Yeah.
you know?
that's what I think is so big too, is we talked about it a little bit on if you watched our winter launch preview with Tyler and I, we talked about, or I made a little point about it, and then I had a few people DM me, but it's not saying that, I mean, I think that here, and you can cut this if you need to, but I think that here it's at this company at EE, it's not necessarily like anti-vax. We allow employees to do whatever. We have people back there that are vaccinated. We've got people that aren't vaccinated. But I think as a company, that's not your place to tell your employees what they should do with their own body. That's always been my stance on that. And I tend to be a little bit libertarian in the sense that you let people do whatever they want. But damn, I mean, Carhartt.
Think about if you've worked at Carhartt for 20 years and
Right.
like your entire adult career has been towards Carhartt, and they just come and do that, and then you have to make the decision, well, Am I going to start over somewhere else? Or I don't know. It just puts you in a very awkward position.
I wish we were in a place where we could hire more people, because that'd be awesome for us to be like, yeah, come work for us. Or I don't know where their headquarters are, but you need to work in a warehouse? We got spots for you. You know, if we were like a lot bigger and we could handle a bunch of new warehouse employees.
Maybe their graphic design artist decided not to, and so we can hire them.
If you were Carhartt's graphic designer, product developer, or sales rep, hit us up. We got Valentine's Day coming up. Matt, what are you doing for Valentine's Day with your wife?
Well,
Putting you on the spot right here.
I'm gonna be gone the 7th through the 13th.
But that's not Valentine's Day.
It's not Valentine's Day,
is
but the whole prep time
okay.
for that day, I'm gonna be gone.
So you
for
got
the
to start
training.
now.
I do have to start now.
Yeah, you got to get ahead of it.
I do.
Okay, so how long have you been married?
Going on a year. It'll be a year in April.
I always think that you've been married longer than that.
Yeah.
What'd you do last Valentine's Day?
What did we do last Valentine's Day? I worked last Valentine's Day. I was on shift.
Megan's going to watch this. You better remember.
No one can remember what you did for what did any of
No,
you? Well, Tyler, we don't have to ask you. Brian, what did you do for last Valentine's Day?
I know what I did. It was snowing. And
You snowed for Valentine's Day?
no, it was snowing outside.
Oh, that's when the whole ice storm hit.
Uh-huh.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really?
And I was on the
Yeah.
way to. Actually, I'm probably gonna cut this out. No, I'll just tell. I don't care. I was on the way to my then ex-girlfriend's house. Ooh, I don't care. And I was trying to turn into like the driveway, and I was slowing down, and my truck just kept going. It
Oh,
just
yeah, I forgot
slid.
about
This was like
this.
right before it started snowing, but like there was already ice on the road, and I was like, "Uh-oh, that's not good." So we did not go to dinner because of that.
I got out of dinner last Valentine's Day because I was gonna. At the time, my girlfriend was still in the DFW area, and I was like, "Can't drive up. You can't drive up. Darn, because we won't have to give into the corporate holiday BS."
Every time I get into a relationship, which isn't often, I always think like when I'm talking to her and like about to make it official, I'm always thinking of major holidays around it, like to try to make it official on like Valentine's Day or Christmas or birthday or something, so you can knock out like, you know,
That's
two
2
birds
for
with
1
one
right
stone.
there.
Yeah, 2 for 1.
Speaking of
And-
Valentine's Day,
By the way, that's why Tyler is. He's trying to parlay anniversary, Christmas,
All into
Valentine's Day, and a birthday all in one.
speaking of single, where's Parker?
He was in Dublin, Ireland this morning.
When you said elephant in the room, I thought that's what you were talking
Yeah.
about.
Well, that could be one too. What happened?
By the way, speaking of which, real quick,
you sound like a producer on Bachelorette. So tell us what
us.
happened about Parker.
I like the tea.
yeah, let's all talk about Parker while he's not here. I will say, whenever you were talking about the blizzard last year in Texas and Valentine's Day, I don't think that, and Parker can talk about this whenever we have him on, because hopefully the next episode we'll be talking about all things Parker's engagement. I knew that Parker was into Amy whenever this time about a month from now. The roads were very bad. His car was none of our vehicles were made for
Oh,
that.
I remember this. I was like, why are you driving?
He drove from his house to her house, which is about 15 miles. It's a good ways in downtown Austin to get to her apartment. And like I remember him sending me a video, and this is so not Parker. Like Parker is pretty safe. Like I wouldn't think that he would just get in the car and just go out. And this was like out of that 5-day blizzard. This was like day 2. It was bad. Like no one was on the roads. They were telling people do not leave. And whenever he got in that car and drove there and then drove back later that night, I was like, there must be a girl involved in this or something. And
Well,
sure enough,
I need to talk to Amy about that. Like, why are you letting him drive down there and then drive back?
I don't think they were dating at the time. It was like friends of friends. And I think that he like
It's probably
maybe-
way more Parker's call. Like, no, I'm coming.
yeah, it probably was. And I think it
That's
was
it.
like a cute little crush at the time.
So now what happened?
I think he slid, didn't he? Didn't he like slide a few lanes?
I think he's talking about
I'm talking about now,
now.
Yeah.
present day.
I mean, he put a rock on it.
he got engaged.
I don't know like how much.
Are we announcing that on this?
Congrats,
or should it
Parker.
be
No,
its own?
no, he already. Okay, so whenever he went on
he
this
already
trip,
put it out.
when
Yeah,
he
I
went on
guess.
this trip, I said, "Hey, don't post anything about it. This could do numbers. We call it numbies." I said this could do numbies on the podcast if we announced on the podcast.
I really don't think he put us first, which is, kind of sad.
It's a little hurtful for.
I
his,
think in that situation, it's okay.
it's a little hurtful. I mean, what? How long has he known her? I've known him for like 10 years,
Mhm.
and he put her before me.
Yep.
That's really hurtful. Yeah, we were trying to get him to announce on the podcast, which would have done stupid.
Hey, you
numbies.
did that to him moving out when Taylor came. Moving out, living with him.
No, I told him I was doing that. I still technically live with Parker.
Is your
For the
stuff still
next-
there?
Still
Yeah.
paying rent.
I still, yeah, I paid rent for the next 7 days.
Do you ever go back there?
Sometimes I just go back and just sit on the couch and look around and
Just
think
like,
about
man, what are the good
The good old
times?
days.
Put his
What-
in and then leave.
what could have been if Parker and I didn't find women.
Mm.
Just look around. We could have just been bachelors forever in that
What a
house.
shame.
Yeah,
Going to bed every night at 8 p.m. watching one episode of Friday Night Lights and calling it a night.
Then you're gonna be married with kids, with the kids running around, and think back. I'm
Yeah.
glad I made this decision, or maybe the other way.
Tell me
around.
about that. Yeah. Well, congrats, Parker. We'll have him on the podcast next week, probably. We're hoping that we can get his significant other, Amy, to join us on the podcast so y'all can meet her.
Soon
I
to
don't
be
know
a new
if-
member of the Smiths.
Yeah. Does it feel weird to have a new, I almost said niece. Well, I mean,
It is
you're-
weird.
the
It's
age
like
difference.
Yeah.
honestly, it took a while with Amber to, anybody that's new to come into your family that you've known for X amount of years. And obviously now Amber is like my sister, but it's just different. It's different, but in a good way. Like I still don't know Amy that well, but I love, she seems like an amazing person. If Parker loves her, then I gotta love her. So
Yeah. She's super sweet.
I hope I said that in a good
Even-
way.
well,
I
even-
love you, Amy.
You couldn't say any better.
But even more so now because when did Amber and Granger get married? What year?
2011.
Okay, so there was no Yee Apparel then. There was barely Earl, or no Earl, because that was 2012.
Yee was first said in 2011.
Okay,
The
but there was
end
no
of 2011.
apparel line or anything. So
Right.
now, like back then, yeah, you were managing, but then Parker's still
So
in high
that's
school.
a good point. So Amber really loved Granger for Granger because he sucked at the time. Nobody came. He was poor. But Amy, I don't know about her. If she's a gold digger, 'cause Parker just
I
running
can
this
assure you.
company.
I can assure you, Amy is the furthest thing from a gold digger. What I was going to say about that, though, is now even more so because back then Parker was in high school and it was just y'all two doing your thing, but Granger was struggling, which he's been very open about, and you have too, about just on the road getting gigs. Like times were tough. Now y'all three are working together, so it's even more buying into the Smith family. Even more now than before, I would think, since y'all literally work together every day.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably got to be thinking of that too. Just coming into a family that's super close has got to be maybe a little intimidating to somebody. Like,
Yeah.
I hope they all like me and I hope I fit in and all that stuff because we work together and we're always together. And
Families are weird. Like dating into one. How's your in-laws?
My in-laws are great.
Really?
Yeah, we go down there. We try to go down there a couple times a month if we can. And our
Where's she
schedules-
again, Megan's watching.
I wouldn't say. I'm not saying anything that's not true.
Love you, babe.
So her parents. She's from the San Antonio area.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amy
not far
too.
at all.
that's
Okay,
where Amy's from.
we're gonna go to break real quick. We'll be right back.
But
Look at the green M&M.
if I could eat M&Ms every day, I guess I can. Then I definitely would.
We got a little
Why
ahead of
shouldn't
ourselves.
I should. Start eating
Okay.
M&Ms
No.
every
You're
day.
hearing Tyler's internal dialogue right now.
Internal dialogue.
Why does anyone eat M&Ms? Why shouldn't I? Why should I? We're talking about
Pros and cons.
the weirdest announcement I think I've seen in a while this week was that the M&Ms are rebranding, which is literally the story that no one asked for, nor did anyone care. Have y'all all
Well,
seen
you're
this?
talking about it. It's probably just
No,
a
it's-
marketing ploy.
Yeah, you're
right?
probably right.
It's been all
Yeah.
over the internet
Like-
lately, and I think it is just an
That's a
attention
gi- that's a-
thing.
it's making me want to eat M&Ms every day.
M&M's M&M characters to become more inclusive, and so they took like the
What
red.
does that mean? More inclusive of what?
Well, they gave him all the same shoes, and then they gave the brown one. This is so weird to me. The green one, which was always the sexy M&M.
Is this like a socialism thing? Because I'm not going to eat M&Ms. They're trying to make
You're gonna
everybody the
boycott
same.
M&Ms because they.
Well, why are they wearing like? So you're what I got from that was they used to wear different shoes, so they all had like their own thing, but now they all look the same.
Well, okay, they're getting new. They're having modern makeovers with more nuanced personalities. It's a global commitment to creating a world where everyone feels like they belong and society is inclusive. And so then they changed some of them up, but all I care about is that the green M&M, previously seen posing seductively and shredding her stuff in white go-go boots, will now sport a pair of sneakers. A description for the green candy on the M&M's website says she, quote, enjoys being a hype woman for my friends. That's worse, because now the female green M&M is just a hype woman. Like, she's not, because before she had her own personality. She commanded the room. She was the green sexy M&M. Now she's just a hype woman. Do you see that though? Like, do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do.
I'm going
I
to start
do,
eating
but-
Skittles.
Aren't they made by the same company?
They are.
I'm not for sure.
And then the brown M&M is not bossy anymore. She's just the boss. So basically, they just made the brown M&M the green M&M.
You know, I guess I missed out
Did you not
through
know
my
the difference?
childhood on the whole Eminem personalities.
I think
Uh,
so
really?
too.
You
Like,
never
I-
saw like the commercials?
I mean, vaguely, I remember
That
like
was
around
probably
a
a long
Christmas
time
time
ago.
commercial. I think
Yeah,
I
where they
remember,
come down
but
and Santa's like, they
Yeah.
are real, which they still run that commercial. But the yellow one was always like kind of goofy. The red one was always in a bad mood. But that's life. You've got green M&Ms that are sexy out
Yeah.
there. You've got bad mood yellow M&Ms. Like, you've got a little bit of everything. I guess I'm the bad mood yellow M&M right now because I'm mad about the M&Ms changing their personality. But
Also, I think we're giving them what they want. Just people to talk about them.
we're hyping up M&Ms right now.
We're
People are
hyping
gonna
up,
start.
I did
Not
I did eat
sponsored.
some M&Ms the other
We're
night.
being some green M&Ms right now.
We are.
Have y'all ever done like peanuts and Coke or whatever?
Ooh.
Isn't
Peanuts
that
and Dr. Pepper.
isn't that the thing? You put it in the Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
And
Mentos.
what's so good about that?
I don't know. I think it's a nostalgia thing because my dad said him and his dad growing up used to go to the gas station and that was like a treat for my dad, like getting the Dr. Pepper because they didn't have soda. They hardly ever drink soda.
Yeah, I bet it's like just a save money kind of thing. Like my granddad used to eat his cornbread and milk.
Dip
Have
it?
y'all ever heard of that? Cornbread and
Cornbread
milk?
I have not.
And
I
now
haven't, but
Granger
I
does
feel like
that.
that would
I'm
be
like,
good.
Yeah, it's about what you think it tastes like. I mean, it's
Yeah.
soggy cornbread and milk. It's like, I don't know.
Granger, that's what you do when you don't have any money. You've got money. You don't have to do this. Granger could be
You're
a
a movie
billionaire
star.
and still be you're a movie star. You could still be eating cornbread with milk, not almond milk like they do nowadays.
Ew.
Oh man,
You
what
don't like
else we
almond
got, guys?
Really?
Is there anything that y'all just want to talk about that's not on the podcast list? Like, does anyone want to talk about anything? Matt, you're not on that often. What do you want to talk about?
I'm not.
Use this time to push your agenda.
Yeah, what agenda do you have to push?
Fire prevention.
Cornhole.
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 By the way, have you noticed that Tyler hasn't been playing cornhole as much now that he got NCAA 14?
But
I
he
haven't
hasn't
played
got
a
any
game
worse
yet.
at cornhole. He's
He's still
still
good?
he's still spot on.
I
can
liked
see
those
his-
gladiators today.
I can
Yeah.
see his head. What is the hype around NCAA 14 for those that don't know?
For me,
I
personally,
mean, just in general, like it's made a comeback in the last couple years. Like it went off. You know, they didn't make the video game forever since 14, so that was the last one. And then how much did you pay to get that on eBay?
You're gonna have to explain all of this. What NCAA is.
It's a video game, college football, but they decided in 2015 after the 14 game, and it had been on forever. It was like a popular, best-selling game. Then they decided that can't use players' likeness or something. But now that players can get paid, NCAA athletes can get paid. They're apparently making a new one that's going to be coming out in the next few years. So then Tyler got on a kick. What made you get on the kick and just buy it?
I used to love it and play it all the time, and then I just randomly remembered it and was like, I'm gonna buy it, and here we are.
Was it expensive?
Yeah, it was like $300 for I think the PS3, maybe it was 200 and $200 for the game though. which is crazy.
200, and it used to be like 50 back in the day.
It's all
like, if you go-
resale.
If you go on eBay and just look, I looked that night, like just because I have an Xbox, and I just looked. Like, it's crazy how much those things are just going for.
Mhm.
I guess there's only so many out there,
Yeah.
you know?
That's gonna be the most hyped up game whenever it comes back.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
looking
it
forward to
will.
that.
It definitely
But it's
will.
funny because Tyler is doing like the career mode where you like have a team, because you can just get on and play any game. You can be whatever, you can be Colorado and play Maryland. You know, it doesn't matter. But you played football at Rice, and so of course you decided to be Rice. How many seasons in are you now?
I just finished my 3rd season. I was 2 and I finished. What did I just say? I finished 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was 2-10 the first season, 7-6
Rebuilding year first year.
Yeah.
the
always.
second season, and 8-5 the 3rd season. Sorry, 4 seasons. And the last season I just finished, I was 11-1.
You should have won Coach of the Year,
Yeah.
turning that around.
Fiesta Bowl champs and Heisman Trophy winner.
Who'd you beat? You had the Heisman.
I beat West Virginia.
There you go.
Coach
So
Smith
fun.
in the
It's
making.
so funny because like I'll just walk in there and he's just like, those are the games where you can spend 10% of your time actually playing, and then you can spend 90% like working with recruits and like trying to recruit
That's what
different
it's
players.
all about.
And that's
the
where
fun.
Tyler likes doing it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, whenever you used to play the game, what years did you play football at Rice?
I played 2002 to 2006.
So you had your player in there before?
Yeah, I think it was the first year that it ever came out, because it seems like so long ago now, like 20 years ago. Jeez, but
Wow.
yeah, I was on there like on the 03 game or the 04 game, something like that.
What was your overall rating?
I think the only thing that they got right about me was that I was white, and they got my number right. Other than that, I'm not claiming anything else. All my abilities.
Okay, fair enough.
I was probably pretty horrible because I was a freshman.
You can go look it up. You're probably like a 58.
Yeah, maybe.
That maybe given a few extra points.
Maybe.
It's funny how they just put a number and
Speaking
skin
of,
tone.
I ended up getting a check a few years ago from the NCAA for like $2 or $3 grand. I don't even remember what it was for.
For what? Yeah, wasn't like video games or anything.
It could have been something like that, but
That's called hush money. That's exactly what that's called.
well, I just said it. It's not much.
The cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag. All right, we got anything else, Brown?
Well,
we didn't really talk about the winter launch.
yeah, that just wrapped up Friday, and still have some stuff on the website, I think.
Yeah, awesome launch. We do have a lot more in stock than usual. That doesn't necessarily mean that the launch didn't go super well. We've been trying to nail down our inventory more and more so that stuff, contrary to popular belief, a lot of people think that we want everything to sell out within an hour. We don't love that. We don't want to sit on a bunch of inventory for a while, but we also do want everyone to have a chance. So there's been a couple things that have sold out. There was one of the dark hoodie, whatever that was named.
The
blue
women's
one?
line did really well, which is awesome. And then the God and Country tee is last time I checked the #1 seller, which is awesome and reminds me that we need to do more. You know, we've kind of shifted a little bit to like outdoorsy faith, but the God and Country and stuff is kind of where we came from, like
Mm-hmm.
the Second Amendment stuff, God and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that shirt crushed. And
Yeah, I
knew it
like
was
that one
gonna
a lot.
crush. From the
Mhm.
live stream, people were just going crazy for it, and I just
Mhm.
knew that one was going to do really well. So then we've got
People were asking, how do we ship
Oh, yeah.
orders? What's our process? Which orders do we ship first?
Matt. What's the answer to that? People are saying, how do you decide which orders you ship first whenever you have thousands and thousands come in on a launch day?
So that's a good question. As far as I know, you know what? I don't know 100%.
Okay, do you just pick up the pile of papers?
Yeah,
Well,
so-
it's the largest orders first, right? Because I saw all the huge
on launch
boxes.
day, yeah, the high dollar orders are usually ones that are going to
Priority.
the door first,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it starts trickling down to shorter orders.
And it's
after
still
that.
within like what time you ordered. So say if you order on launch day at 10:03 a.m., 3 minutes after it goes live, and you spend $200 in the store versus someone that spends $500 in the store but they buy the day after the launch, you're still going to get yours shipped out first. We try to get those launch day ones from like the Friday of the launch day. We try to get those shipped out as quickly as possible. But it does make those first few days of shipping in the warehouse after a launch are crazy because all the orders are, I mean, a lot of them are $1,000 or more, or at least 500 or more.
There's some pretty big orders. So,
Yeah.
So if you want your stuff, if you want your stuff soon, order a lot.
Yeah, and I don't love the messaging of that. Like, order whatever you financially can, but that is just a fact.
And it has to do with
how
our
it-
packaging and like the bigger boxes and stuff, and we go through those first before
Yeah,
smaller packaging.
because we've got all,
so-
you've got all these massive packages. And then if you have to switch from like a big package to a small package to then the poly mailer, the little plastic ones, and then back and forth, it just kind of makes it hard. So we try to get those big ones out. We had a lot. I think we've had more people. I don't know what the situation is back there, but we've had more people I'm seeing post in like the Yee Nation Facebook group and stuff that they've already gotten their orders or
That's
they're
awesome.
out the door and they're going to be there like Wednesday, which will be today whenever this is released. So yeah, I think we've been on top of it more than ever.
Everyone worked through Sunday from what I've heard.
Mhm.
People here Friday through
Yeah.
Sunday shipping orders out.
Yeah, we always say like a delayed shipping time on these launches, but we try to get them all out as quickly as possible. We said 7 to 14 business days. I think we should beat that this launch.
Yeah,
I
I think-
don't think we should have any.
Maddie said we're looking at next week. She's hoping to be done
Oh,
with all the
wow.
orders.
Yeah,
That's
which is
crazy.
really great. That'll be like 6
Yeah.
business days. Tyler, do we have anything new? Like, so you do a lot of the like, what would I call this? Like business development, I would say. That's probably like the big things, like
The
new
big picture.
products. Yeah, big picture type things. So we've teased a little bit about the iced coffee that may be something that we're doing. Hopefully, I would love for us to do iced coffee.
Yeah, we just Parker gets back, and then we'll it's gonna be a quick turnaround, so we gotta determine maybe the spring launch or Yee Day we can come out with something.
Then we're working on jerky, a new jerky, hot and spice Yee, and you just got the art back for that this morning, which looks sweet.
Yeah, looks great.
Can we put that on the podcast?
Yeah, see if they like it.
Can send it to me. I'll put it on.
Yeah,
Parker hadn't even seen it.
So
Yeah,
this
we've
could-
been doing so many things without Parker. I'm like,
So we might not use this, but it's an option.
You want me to just?
Send it to me. I'll add it on.
All right, cool.
The first thing I did whenever I opened my phone was just there's a video of Jackson Mahomes dancing.
Uh-oh.
I just can't stop watching this dude dance. It's so cringy.
All right, let's go home.
All right. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you next week. Eat your veggies.
See you guys.